There's no telling what direction this is going to go in. All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk to you about a company called Bit Digital, stock ticker BTBT. These guys are a Bitcoin miner. We cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel, so if that's content that you're interested in, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. And if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button. A little bit about myself. I have a background in accounting. I was a CPA. I've been trading retail stocks for the last couple of decades. So I'm hoping to share some of my experiences with you guys, and maybe we can make some money along the way. Let's take a look at Bit Digital. Bit Digital is down over 8% today. So if you look at the board, this is all of the Bitcoin miners on the day today. So if you look, you'll see that this is a very, very green day. And inside this sea of green, you'll see every single one of these is green with the exception of Bit Digital, which is down 8%. I had to do some digging to figure out what is going on because this stock has been getting beaten up pretty badly. And now today, it's a massive outlier, having a huge down day, reaching its 52-week low on what is otherwise a pretty positive day. So you'll see right now it's trading at $3.93. It's down 8.7%. Its 52-week range is $3.84 to $30.68. So that's a massive range, and we'll look at the chart later. But today it got down to $3.85, which was 1 penny off of its 52-week low. And again, this is a giant down day for them on what is otherwise an up day for all the rest of the Bitcoin miners. This brings their market cap down to $274 million. This company's been over $1 billion in market cap several times. This is among one of the most volatile Bitcoin miners. So I've done a few videos on this. If you want to check out the history of what's gone on with these, you can look at my previous videos. They had to move all their machines around a lot. They had a lot of downtime. There was a short report on them that said they didn't even really exist. This stock has taken a roller coaster ride. Having said that, it's had several massive recoveries this year, only to find itself now back to its 52-week low. I also want to point out the volume that's going on today because this downward trend is happening at a massive volume. So volume is 4,882,000. That is more than their average daily volume, and that is just in the first 1 hour. So this is a strong downward move on huge volume. So after looking in all the usual places, including their own website, I could not find any news on this company. I could not find any conversations going on this company. So finally, I checked their SEC filings, and they did in fact have an SEC filing. I have figured out what's going on here, and I just want to show you guys what's happening because this is a massive reaction to it. I'm not sure that this reaction makes sense. I'm still trying to process it. There's the potential that this could be a very good buying opportunity. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I'm looking at, the information that I found out, and then we'll take a look at the charts and see what the effect that it has. Okay, Bit Digital Inc., 23,608,774 ordinary shares. So at first glance, it looks like they're issuing a massive amount of shares, but that is not what's going on here at all. This prospectus relates to the sale by selling shareholders, consisting of 13,490,728 ordinary shares sold to institutional investors under a securities purchase agreement dated September 29th, 2021. So these are shares that institutional buyers bought back in September. We are not selling any securities under this prospectus and will not receive any of the proceeds of the sale of the ordinary shares of the selling shareholders. However, we may receive gross proceeds of $80 million from the issuance of ordinary shares upon the exercise of the warrants in full for cash at $7.91. So these warrants are at $7.91. This stock is currently trading at half that price. Nobody's likely to exercise these warrants anytime soon. And if they do, then that means this stock has had a massive recovery. So again, really what's happening here is no new shares are being issued. There's the potential for new shares to be issued if and when the company's stock price approximately doubles. These warrants will be worth cashing in at that point and not until. They currently have 69 million ordinary shares outstanding. And again, this will not dilute those at all at the moment. No new shares are being issued. if this stock can get back up to $7.91 or beyond to $8 or $9, then it's probable these warrants will be issued at some point in the future. But by then, the stock will have doubled. Okay, so then later in the document, it goes on to show here are the institutional investors that purchased all these shares in September of 2021. It shows the name of the investors, how many shares they purchased, so how many they're going to sell, how many they'll have when they're done. They're all going to have zero. So all of these guys, they're getting out of their investment and they're selling them essentially at market value. Now, they won't sell all these in one day, I would not imagine, but hence the high volume. This is what's going on. So if I look at this transaction, what's happening is a lot of institutional investors are selling their position in this company. There's going to be a massive amount of volume over the next few days or potentially weeks, and we're seeing that already today. Today's volume is through the roof. So that's creating some short-term downward pressure on this stock. In the long term, does this change the big picture of what's going on with this company? I don't know what the answer to that is, because you see there's a bunch of institutional investors that have opted to get out. Ordinarily, that would not be considered a good sign. However, them selling their shares is not diluting your shares or the shareholders' shares in any way at this point. So in a lot of ways, this could be a temporary downward pressure situation, and you can see it's gone right down to its 52-week low. So it's quite possible it's found some support at this level. Once all these shares are done being sold, we may see a rebound in this stock, particularly if Bitcoin continues to get healthy. Now, Bitcoin is having a good day today. However, obviously you'll see Bit Digital is down over 8% now at $3.95. So you can expect this downward pressure. We'll see if the 52-week low holds or if it breaks below that, because there's a lot of shares to be sold here. Having said that, once all that is done, there's the potential that this stock jumps back in and starts to participate in Bitcoin's run back up if Bitcoin has its run back up. Okay, so let's look at the chart for Bit Digital and see what is going on. This is the chart on the 4-hour time frame. So this is basically the last year, and you can see there was insane fluctuations in this stock. So this stock went from where it's trading right now near its 52-week low all the way up to its 52-week high in just a few days back in December and January. From January through the middle of February, bouncing up and down between these two lines in what I'm considering way overbought territory. So you can see we never revisit that again for the rest of the year. I like to exclude bubbles like this when I see them, because these aren't really realistic price goals in the short term. The stock probably did not belong there to begin with, as evidenced by the rest of the year. It never got back anywhere near into this range. However, when it settled out of this range, it was in about $19, and it did test this once, twice, and then a third time all the way in August. So to me, this is their real 52-week high, although technically their 52-week high is over $33. So you can see we have a purple line down here at $3.92, and really it looks like that was $3.84, so that's a few cents off. But basically this was the bottom, this was the 52-week low. It approached that back in December of last year. It hit that in July of this year. This was the time when a short report was written on this, basically claiming this was a fraudulent company. Extremely wild accusations. One of the most vicious short reports I've ever seen. And it did take this stock way out. A lot of their miners were in China at that point, and the person who wrote the short report basically said, I can't confirm that any of these exist. Well, subsequently, China stopped mining Bitcoin, so they had to take all those miners and move them elsewhere. So as a function of that, they were able to prove that a lot of those miners existed. I will say, doing the math, I'm not quite sure they were able to get all of their miners out of there, so there were some discrepancies, but they did prove this is a real company. They had a lot of miners. They've brought them to North America, and they've started to make arrangements with North American companies for hosting and all those kind of things. So that is where we saw, once those machines started to show up, we saw this go from its 52-week low down in the $4 range. In a very short period of time, it jumped up over $20. So that was almost a 400% move up off of its low at that time. And that happened in a brief period of time. This was about 2 weeks it took to get from the bottom to the top. And then I think the market decided maybe that would, there was a potential short squeeze involved in here, and this was a little overheated. This did pull back down to this line, which it retested several times, somewhere in the $13 range. So even if we want to go all the way down to the $13 range, despite the fact this stock traded at $33 in the last 52 weeks, and then again at $19 or $20, even if we use just this $13 line, which it hit as late as November of this year, this was trading at $13, and that was about when Bitcoin hit its 52-week high at $69,000. The first thing I want to do is measure if we just go from where we are right now back to where we were 2 weeks ago. That would represent a 62% increase in the price of this stock. So to me, if they can get through, get all these shares sold, and get back to business as usual, and Bitcoin gets healthy, that's a 62% increase in the stock price. So that represents massive, massive upside. The downside risk, in my opinion, is fairly low. It seems to be bouncing off of its 52-week low today on this what is considered bad news day. Even though it's a massive outlier today and it's having a huge down day, its 52-week support seems to be holding. So obviously it could break below that, and you never know where the bottom is. But just to get back to our 2 weeks ago price is a 62% potential reward. Okay, the next point I'll look at is if this can get back to its price on December 2nd, which was the day before the Bitcoin flash crash. So if Bitcoin can get healthy and return to those levels, if Bit Digital follows along with them, that would be a 146% increase in the price of this stock. And again, that is less than 2 months ago. That was just December 2nd that it was trading at, in the $9.50 range. We're under $4 here today. So I'm going to leave it at those two price targets. I don't think this is a short-term price target. I think this one right here, this could be a 3 to 6 month price target in my opinion. And again, this is not financial advice. There's no telling what direction this is going to go in or what news is going to come in the future on this company. So please do your own due diligence. I just wanted to get this out there to everybody today because Bit Digital is a massive, massive outlier today. We're having an extremely green day in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, and Bit Digital is tanking. I think I've determined the reason why, and now you guys can decide what you think you want to do about it. So that's all I got for Bit Digital today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.